we're just coming with the essential oil. Ooh, tickly to the back. Just going to close the window. Sorry, spreading the oil around the back, the neck. Need a little more. Yeah, it's going on beautifully. It smells amazing. Would you like a little bit of it under your nose, over your top lip, so you can smell what I'm working with? Yeah? Do you want to raise your head? I'll put a little there. There you go, Kelly.
Thank you.
Okay. 3 nice long breaths. And continuing with the long breathing. Beautiful. So, lovely Kelly, this is your time, no one else's. This is your time to completely relax, unwind, and find that presence, that stillness that lies deep within your body, your mind, and your spirit. And simply by observing the whole treatment and how your body responds to the treatment, will bring you to that place of stillness. If at any time during the treatment you need to move, shift, scratch your nose, whatever it is, you go ahead. There's no problem at all. So starting with several upward effleurages. Encompassing the whole back. And then overlapped double hands around the shoulders, including the whole deltoid, shoulder point, scapula, moving strongly upwards. And then thumbs either side of the spine, shifting the fascia at the top of the back, base of the neck, moving in circles upwards, getting an idea for how the body feels, ready to adapt the techniques if necessary, using those fingers, drawing a line around the scapula, edging my way almost underneath the shoulder blades. And then on the shoulder blades, using flat knuckles, fingers together. And then edge of little finger, using a whole hand pressure, moving any agitated toxins up and over towards the chest. Allowing those shoulders to feel that freedom of movement without muscle spasm, with good circulation and nerve connections. And then flat thumbs either side of each vertebra, pushing down and into the side of the vertebra at the point of the discs. Allowing for beautiful long breathing. And this technique, alongside the breathing, brings such a beautiful tranquility. And then following the same line down the neck, down the spine, cat and mouse chasing, one thumb pad to the other, while moving that fascia and clearing the way in that beautiful channel between the spine and the erector spinae muscle. So this has a beautiful effect of resetting the nervous system. Beautiful, slow, long breaths. So it's a late summer day here. The wind is picking up. We've had a very hot, long summer, and today we are due some rain. Much wanted. Returning to the effleurage as the place of home and comfort, encompassing the whole back, occasionally the arms, having treated shoulders, now coming down to the lower back, anchoring with thumbs, pressing strongly with knuckles. Starting in the center and coming out like a rainbow effect, and then into the fascia on the side of the sacrum, to the gluteus medius, and forwards to the iliac. Creating warmth and a rosiness here to the lower back and hips. And then whole hands gliding up. Separating the back into 3 areas, sending love and healing to the upper back, the chest, and all the organs in this area. Coming to the middle back, lower thoracics, upper lumbar. Again, sending love and healing to the back, the upper abdomen, the ribs, and all the organs contained here. And then the lower back, hips, lower abdomen, sending love and healing, that beautiful caring intention to this whole area, coming through the treatment and also the intention from you, the person on the couch. Then either side of that spine again, just wiggling to locate the spine, moving right up against the bones themselves, and then into the lovely neck. So when I'm giving a treatment, I can feel it at the same time. So I particularly love my neck being massaged and treated. So I'm feeling now how this feels to Kelly, and the sensation of the muscles relaxing, the sensation of warmth coming up to the upper shoulder, neck, even into the throat. Keep coming back to the spine to make sure it's clear. And then the scissoring. So this agitation helps scoop up and flatten out the fascia where there might be spasm and toxin, any impurities that need to move, down to the lymph nodes at the side of the trunk. And then a row of fingers softly and in a nice straight line, bringing that agitated fascia over to the side. And now the rosiness is really coming, so stimulating to the circulation. And then a nice kidney massage, using those flat knuckles again, just above the waist, either side of the spine. Massaging nice, warm, large circles. Kidneys love a good massage. And then together, separating down to the couch and back. And coming back and starting the glides, gliding over, coming away from the spine. And of course the lymph sits just under the surface of the skin, so we don't want to be pushing it too firmly, otherwise we'll go past the layer of lymph. We want to just be working at a very superficial level and also nice and slowly. And slowing it down. So mixing this lovely oil, you can see the German chamomile sitting separately inside, and as I mix with the sunflower oil, which is more yellowy, you've also got there the Roman chamomile, the lemon, and the eucalyptus essential oils. And it's now a nice greeny colour. Okay, Erin, 3 nice long breaths. So lovely, Erin, this is your time. Your time on the couch to completely relax and unwind, letting every limb go heavy, deep down into the couch, feeling weightless. Also letting the mind relax, letting go of thoughts, almost as if you are observing any thoughts that come, as if watching clouds float by. And see yourself sitting somewhere utterly comfortable and safe, whether it's on a beach, on a mountain, in a forest glade, or in your favourite chair. And you will, at some point during this treatment, find yourself floating in your own stillness and space, feeling tranquil and serene. And when you are there, acknowledge this you that can be so relaxed, and re-find this you at other times, knowing that you can easily access this place and find that stillness. So having applied the oil, effleuraged and stretched the spine, now working on shoulders individually, working away into a deeper therapeutic massage into the soft fascia, encouraging, coaxing the fascia to release any blocked energy, tightness and spasm. Rolling and rocking my body in turn so that we're moving as one. Then tracing around the scapula, defining the edge, onto the flat plate with strong petrissage finger pads. Encouraging that rosiness. And then moving them away, any of those toxins that have become agitated and shifted, moving them down to the armpit. When I was working with reflexology earlier, I noticed there was a little bit of dry skin around the inside lower edges of the scapula. So I'm just working my way into them now, making sure there's no spasm or particular tightness there. Releasing any tightness and seizing up. this time knuckling this side with flat knuckles to agitate and shift any toxins that like sitting very safely before they're moved away on this flat bone. And then with a line moving them away to the armpit. This oil smells amazing. And down the arms, hydrating any dry skin, going up and over and down the arms. And then separating the back into 3 parts, strongly over the lower back, while considering with deep respect the pelvis and all that the pelvis houses. Mid-back thoracics, and again not just massaging the skin and the ribs but also thinking about what is contained in this area, and especially kidneys here. There is a certain amount of tightness there, so just giving that little bit of work with the heel of hands, encouraging that area to soothe, relax, and up, hooking over shoulders and out. And thinking about the chest cavity, upper ribs, clavicles, scapula, but also the lungs and heart, the trachea and the esophagus, the upper digestive, so stomach, but above that also the diaphragm. Reverse effleurage, pushing to hips, forearms, and slowly up each side of the spine. Looking at the sacrum. Deep strength of knuckles. Using body weight forwards. Sacrum can take quite a lot of weight. And then round pelvis over the iliac and back to sacrum. And coming to the spine, 2 thumb pads, pressing each side of each vertebrae with those lovely long out breaths. Letting the muscles relax, relax, relax. And then 2 thumbs, clearing any blockage each side of the spine where I've just been working. And coming to the other side, pressing in and across. And these long moments of stillness allow the body to really recalibrate, finding that silence within the body, the mind, finding that place of home within us where we can go back to feel safe and at our best. And then working back up the spine with that middle finger into the channel between the erector spinae and the vertebrae. Hook up, and then two thumbs, one over the other, into the occiput acupressure place. And gallbladder and bladder meridians. Then down and isolating now the back into 6 parts. Round the shoulder blade, the mid-torso and pelvis. Coming to the scissoring. So this warms, agitates any fascia and any toxins lying within the fascia, moving the lymph, picking it up, scissoring it up to the surface. And 2 fingers in a line, or 2 rows of fingers up and over towards armpit and chest, pumping 3 times. massage to fanning, moving any remaining toxins within the lymph away from the spine over to lymph nodes on the side of the torso and into the pelvis and the chest. Okay, my lovely friend Jodi, I'm going to be introducing some pre-blended oils especially for you, including geranium, clary sage and sweet marjoram. Coming to the back, they've been nicely warming. Okay, beautiful Jodi, 3 nice long breaths. And starting with an upward effleurage. Creating a deep sense of relaxation by moving my hands firmly but slowly. Enveloping the arms, creating some warmth to the arms and hips, coming up to the top, alternating with a reverse effleurage, holding the hips and strongly up. Softly down. holding in the hips and strongly up. Doubling the hands to come over each shoulder, encompassing the scapula, circling around the shoulder blades, tracing the edges. Strongly over that trapezius line at the top, soothing away any tension, bringing thumbs to the center line, petrissage each side of the spine. And thumbs to the side of the spine, pressing down and across into the spine, out and up, and with an out breath, pressing down and in, coordinating my breathing with Jodi's. And holding for a couple of breaths so that the space between the vertebrae get plenty of attention. It's such a nice feeling to have this done, especially at the lower spine. At the upper spine, there is a feeling of the lungs needing that space, so less pressure is given. Returning to the top. Thumb to thumb. So that any excess lymph is removed down the spine. And coming to the left side. And repeating the cat and mouse movement to the left channel of the spine. Ensuring a slow movement, encouraging deep relaxation. One more effleurage. Encompassing the whole back and shoulders, scapula, the ribs, around the hips, bringing in knuckles, and then increasing the knuckling to the sides, where sometimes the hips can feel a little chillier than the body, in order to spread the warmth where the blood flows, healing takes place. And strongly on the bones of the sacrum, putting a lot of weight behind the knuckles, and then to the edge of the sacrum, around those hips, and then flat hands separating at the waist, coming to the couch, all the way down. And fanning out from the spine, from the vertebra channel to the left, fanning out to remove any excess lymph and toxins from the spine outwards. Two hands to the shoulder and down the arm, covering with a blanket if it feels chilly, fanning this side, down the arm to the hand. And then a lovely move, overlapping thumbs to the side of the spine, which feels so good in clearing the way, removing tension, And a nice upward stimulating feeling all the way to the cranium. And then to those lovely scapula, tracing the edges, knuckles to the flat bone, not too strongly as these can be sore. Just agitating any fascia in order to release toxins and thereby creating flexibility to the shoulders, nice loose, so they're not raised and tight. And then the base of the hands, pushing warmly, strongly over. Coming back to that beautiful effleurage. And a hot towel from the radiator. And connecting. So that's lavender, mandarin and rose. So rose is a bass note, mandarin is a top note, and lavender is a middle note. Absolutely perfect mix. So a nice effleurage up the back. What's baby doing at the moment?
He was quite active when I was smelling the essential oils.
Okay.
He's calmed down.
Okay. And round the hips. And then just one hand, not too strongly, on the lower back. And then 2 knuckles either side of the spine over your lovely tattoo. And coming down. And then on that sacrum again. I'm just going to raise the height of the couch, Beth. Yeah, so for a pregnancy massage with a client lying semi-supine like this on their side, it's good for the therapist if the couch can go really high, then you're not bending over too low to treat sideways. And then I'm going to work with 2 thumbs either side of the spine, coming up nice and slow, always checking while I'm treating, seeing what I can find, clearing any congestion. Does that feel okay?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, good. And then over the shoulder. So tracing that line around the scapula, using finger pads, round, up and over. And the same this side, reaching as much as I can around that scapular edge, over the shoulder point, and then knuckles on the scapular bone itself, and then scooping up what was knuckled away and then up over the shoulder. Back to that effleurage. So we've looked at shoulders, we've looked at the spine. Need to look at the waist, separating round the waist and coming back. So strongly up, separating down and back round. Beautiful. It's so lovely treating you. Now over the ribs. Expanding them, opening them up to give you more breathing space. Something that is challenged as we grow bigger and bigger with pregnancy, with all that extra pressure. And then the hips themselves. So obviously baby is above the hips, and the hips take a lot of the brunt of the weight, this beautiful pelvic girdle, and it needs to get ready for later stages of pregnancy with the carrying, but also then labour. So I'm just treating around those rounded hips, giving them that feeling of support, strength, capability, like they can hold the baby, they can adjust to what the baby needs. Now looking at the neck. So alternate hands. And because in later stages we often sit up to sleep, and even relaxing, we're sitting up, the neck never actually completely relaxes. So it's nice to have a massage at the back and sides of the neck, right up into the cranial bones, in order to really reassure those muscles, let them lengthen and soften, but also encourage some space, encourage the spine to lengthen, to readjust into the correct alignment, and to really let go of those muscles so that it gives its weight to the pillow entirely. I can really smell those oils, lavender, mandarin and rose. Finishing off with a lovely effleurage. Yeah, that oil is really sunken into the skin. The skin is really happy for that. 3 beautiful effleurages encompassing the whole back, slowly and lightly down, with a finished stretch to the neck and pelvis, before covering up. And stay as you are. So I'm just going to make sure you haven't got any hair that's annoying you at the front. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, come into your back. Oh, it smells amazing. So we've got frankincense, nutmeg and spearmint. What a mix. So when I come to do your scalp later, would you like me to wash my hands before I touch your hair?
No, it's okay.
You don't mind?
No.
Awesome.
I've not washed it for that reason.
Cool. So just spreading the oil at the moment, making sure you're all covered. Okay, Zoe, 3 nice long breaths. Starting off with an effleurage, encompassing the whole back. So beautiful, Zoe, this is your time on the couch. Your time to relax and unwind, letting all of the healing from the core therapy before and all of the healing to come resonate and settle within you. Letting your body go beautifully heavy, lengthening every muscle, letting them rest. And as the massage progresses, and with each technique your muscles respond by relaxing and releasing tension, you will find that that busy mind will relinquish its thoughts, and you will simply be following the massage and how your body is responding. And that is the most beautiful place to be, in the moment, right now, here on this couch, receiving a wonderful relaxing treatment. So, letting you visualize being in your favourite place, whether that's the top of a mountain, in a forest, on a beach, or simply your most favourite comfortable armchair. And then from that place of relaxation, you are observing the treatment and how your body is responding. And at the end of the treatment, I will bring you round nice and slowly. And hooking into the side of the spine, pushing with 2 thumb pads either side of each vertebrae. And this helps the spinal connections relieve any tightness, create some space. It helps the nerve connections to reset. It helps stimulate blood flow and releases blockages, tightness. It helps reset the cerebral spinal fluid as it pulses down the spine, wraps at S2 and comes back up again. And it helps instill a wonderful rhythm of breathing, nice and long, paused and settled. And having pressed with each out-breath, now clearing down the spine. One long clearing length, moving in front of the left thumb to clear any blockages. Is your arm comfortable down there, Zoe?
Yeah.
You're not getting pins and needles?
No.
You're okay? You're okay with it back up again?
Yeah.
Yeah? You do whatever you need to do. If you need to tuck the hand or the thumb under the hip, that's also fine. Whatever you need to do.
Having cleared, now I'm going to do a strong reverse effleurage. Going up strongly, down the arms lightly. Strong forearms. And tracing lines round those scapula, ready to release any tightness, increase mobility and freedom. Using the flat surface of the forearm over that plate of bone, the two scapula, warming nice flat area, up and over the shoulders, over to this cervical lymph, clearing away any waste, excess lymph and toxins. And coming down to the base of the spine, knuckles to the sacrum, nice and strong. So this area can appear a little pale even when massaged, and the blood circulation needs to be cooled down to this area to create that rosiness and warmth. And there's a little starting, and then around those hips with knuckles. That can feel a little sensitive there. Coming back into the sacrum. And a rainbow effect from the centre and out. Spreading that warmth and circulation around the whole hips and pelvis. Moving up to the waist, the obliques, separating and pushing down to the couch. So that the forearm also massages the whole pelvis while doing that oblique stretch. Coming up to effleurage again, warming the whole back. And the scissoring. Agitating, breaking up any tissue just under the surface of the skin so that any lymph can be agitated back down to the sides, to those lymph nodes. There, that's really good effect. Lovely rosiness coming through. Working from the left side of the spine over the surface of the ribs. And 3 pulses to the sides. So that tells the lymph node that there is excess tissue to be dissolved. I'm not pushing that strongly, it's actually quite light because this lymph sits just underneath the surface of the skin. And repeating to the right side, nice and slowly, because the lymph moves at this slow speed. And then outward fans, fanning out from the left side of the spine, coming away and clearing down the arm to the hand, around that hip, oblique, scapula, trapezius, deltoid, down the arm. the spine, working around each scapula, again tracing that line, helping to free up the shoulder point, even the front to the rotator cuff, around the back of the scapula, up the fascia, pushing forward. And then into the neck. Not only bringing the strength upwards, all that warmth and circulation, but also pinching a good amount of fascia and coming up, right up to the occiput of the cranium here, and then pulling over the shoulder and pulling forwards and back while pushing with the other hand and twisting that muscle to try and lengthen it. Beautiful. Giving the spine another check. That feels so nice to receive. Working quite strongly there. And a final couple of effleurages up, warming the whole back, shoulders, hips, before lengthening of the spine, a strong hold. And off. Nice hot towel over on a cold night. Okay, so Zoe, when you're ready, if you'd like to turn over onto your back. Okay, so coming with lovely warmed oil. I'm just going to tuck the towel in.
So these essential oils we have just kinesiology tested, and we found that lavender, sweet marjoram, peppermint and clary sage are the ones that Beth's body wants today. It's a really lovely mix, especially for an evening as we are here now, just an autumnal evening. Okay, Beth, so 3 nice long breaths. Using palms, separating and widening with the out breath. And then some upward effleurages. Making sure to include the whole back, even the side extremities, strongly up. Reversing lightly down, effleuraging up each side of the spine over the trapezius, including the arms, hooking over those lovely hips, palms strongly each side on the fascia, moving the fascia upwards and thereby relieving any tension. And now addressing the scapula, overlapping and round. So pushing forwards and upwards in between the scapulae, bending that trapezius forwards. Thumbs either side of the spine, pushing up the neck. That just feels so stress relieving. Into those acupressure points. And the occiput. Using my little finger to trace a line around and almost under the scapula to the left, that angel wing under the hook, removing any tightness that is causing the scapula to reduce its mobility. And then holding the scapula and knuckling on that lovely flat plate of bone to agitate and shift the toxins that sit there very happily until they're moved. And then I'm going to be moving them over the top of the shoulder to the lymph in the chest, which will remove it into the waist. Using my thumb quite strongly up and over. And this has a lovely feeling of pushing those toxins up and over to the chest, knowing that they're going to be filtered away. Same this side, tracing a line. And knuckling while holding the scapula. This can feel sore if the shoulder is quite tight. And then moving them up and over. And then coming with two thumbs either side of the spine, pushing and relieving. Finding the gap between the vertebra and then descending down and across into the spine and relaxing again. So the lovely thing about lying on the couch and being the recipient is at some point after you've thought all about the to-do lists and the day and tomorrow, you reach a point that you are simply following the massage, following the techniques, but more importantly, how your body responds. And there is a wonderful sensation where sometimes how the body responds isn't a feeling that you can remember having for quite a long time, if at all. And it is a feeling of the whole body coming together. That wonderful sense of every system, circulatory, the nervous system, hormonal, endocrine, excretory, digestive, circulatory, etc. All of the systems coming together to form that wonderful teamwork. And once this happens, and the lymph system is communicating with the nervous system, we call that neurologically organised. And it is at that point that we are at our most balanced, our most efficiently working. And this is when the real healing begins. Because we are relaxed and receiving, observing, we're definitely present. And meanwhile, the body is very busy accepting this newfound way of being and communicating. So there seems to be various stages that the mind, body, emotions, the spirit goes through during a treatment like this. There's the feeling that things are new and what is happening and accommodating to the environment, the touch. Then there's the feeling of observing. Meanwhile, dealing with the mind that may be quite loud and busy. And then at a certain point, after a while, there is an amazing sensation where it's almost like there is a subconscious realization that you're in good hands, that you're safe, and that you are accepting the whole array of techniques that are then to be given to you over the next couple of hours. And you end up at the end of that time on the couch feeling like a new person. Coming up each side of the spine, and then overlapping thumbs, large thumb pats and flat hands, overlapping, ensuring that area is clear of tension from muscle spasm either side, clear of subluxation or fixation of the vertebra. So as a therapist, we're always checking and looking for any structural issues. And obviously this is a bespoke treatment, so I'm always looking for anything that particularly needs to be done on this occasion. And in which case I would adapt the treatment and work on an area more than others. And coming to the lovely sacrum, knuckles flat and strong, symmetrically either side, pushing fairly firm. And then widening to the hips. This can feel sore. And separating around the obliques. And then beautiful fanning out. Multitude of hands. And down the arm to the hand. Moving that lymph away from the spine where it congests, encouraging it to the sides of the body, to the armpit, to over the shoulder, to the chest. Coming up ready for a reverse effleurage. Using forearms and elbows strongly up and over. Pinching the fascia together. Using my body weight down and pushing downwards. And then agitating the fascia over the ribs, over the scapula. And then a row of fingers slowly over towards the armpit, and then pumping to activate the lymph nodes. Well, a lot of people that have a massage like this will remark afterwards that they feel a certain lightness, like their body is weightless and so much lighter than before. And a lot of that is down to the fact that the lymph has moved, that there has been a good amount of upward movement, whereas normally we're on our feet and the gravity makes our body feel like it's moving downwards. But with a massage there is an upward movement towards the heart. And that all allows us to feel lighter. And coming to the neck. A centered sculpting up first. Hands working together to bring a massage and an upward movement all the way to the occiput, and then over deltoid trapezius towards the sternocleidomastoid neck muscle, hooking up, bending and securing under that shoulder to lengthen the muscle, take away any of that tension and spasm. And finishing with a few effleurage, just as we started. A warmed towel. Introducing the cardamom, rose, neroli, jasmine. Beautiful mix of essential oils, especially for a Kundalini massage. Beginning with an upward effleurage. And returning with effleurage from the top, pressure coming upwards. Paying deepest respect to the body, to the chakras, to each of the auras. And heart protector coming over strongly upwards over each shoulder, and pausing at the heart for a beautiful heart connection. And then to each side of the spine, applying pressure on an out breath, sequencing my breath to beautiful poppies. Connecting us with the energy of the room and releasing the spine with every pressure. And then releasing any congestion down the left side of the spine. Then bringing pressures to the right side, tuning into the breath. A row of fingers pushing downwards, and coming out slowly and superficially, meaning on the surface of the skin, not pressing too firmly, and pressing again 3 times at the lymph nodes. Slowly and lightly. And this has the effect of removing waste materials. muscles. And tracing down each side of the spine, connecting to the base. And this is so soothing. It's very nurturing and settling. And fanning outwards, overlapping hands, almost as if there are more than one therapist doing the massage. Starting medium pressure, ending up light